We should be live, hopefully. Welcome everyone. Welcome Platinum. Hey, Moon God, what's up, my friend? What's up? So, for everyone who's not in the picture, what's going on? Cdpr announced a new. Sorry about my voice. Cdpr announced a new RedStreams, and this time we're getting a Alt Cunningham and Rogue actresses. They're gonna be talking about behind the scenes stuff, and just keep in mind that nothing will be shown in the terms of new gameplay, new patch, new content or anything. Everything that they're going to do and talk about is just going to be about game behind the scenes, and that's pretty much it. Now, I do believe they're using these RedStreams pretty well because it still kind of can be used as marketing, especially if in the future maybe they bring the voice actor for male V and voice actors for female V. That would be kind of cool. I know that people were talking about it. Daytime Lantern, what's up? Allison, what's up, Choom? Isn't the event 2 hours from now? No, the event is 1 hour from now. So the event is going to be starting at 6 p.m. Central European time, and the now it's 5. So I always do this 1 hour pre-show to hang around with people because I used to do these community like streams where we just talk with the community about the game and everything. So yeah, so that's it. Greetings from Finland. Hello, my friend. Hello, Christoph. Christoph. Is it Christoph or Christoph? Killmonger, what's up? What up, bro? So what do you think about CDPR catered to EGS woke agenda? Listen, let me explain you something how businesses work. Businesses will do everything they can to increase their market share and to obviously make money. Now, it depends how companies maintain all of that, because those funds are used in certain ways if you follow certain things. Now, honestly, I don't have anything against some of the stuff EGS has. I do have against when they block certain things and certain funds to certain people. But it's more important for every company whatsoever to just be a normal employer, to not overwork employees, and to have a normal working environment. Now, you have also a lot of companies, now I'm not specifically talking about CD Projekt Red here, I'm generally speaking, that they do all of that publicly, but privately they don't. And it's just how it is, it's business, man. You have to understand, you tap into any fund you can to make money. So yeah. Priada Crow, what's up, my friend? What's up? Thank you for stopping by. Sarah Melee is going to be expensive to get given how many games she voices. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like, still, these sort of like RedStreams are used as promotional stuff. So maybe in the future. Hey Cells, what's up? Rosalind Myers is the hottest character besides Panem. So what do you all think about patch 2.11? Do you have any issues? Because I know in my like review video for the patch there are a lot of like mixed opinions. Like some people are saying it's fine with the update, some people are saying there are issues. Like, I really want to know. Wait, wasn't some, I think I read somewhere about Japanese developers or one Japanese developer like pulling out of EGS. I don't know, like business these days, man. But yeah, we'll see. Now, only thing which I'm really interested in are games, damn it. I want to see the next Witcher and new Cyberpunk. I mean, especially the new Witcher. I mean, we're getting close. Every single day, it's getting closer. Now, it's still far away, but I mean, and especially now, it's like that was the thing with the Witcher 1 remake. So recently, I don't know if this is new, because I know this similar like articles were going on before about Fool's Theory. So because they're developing the Witcher 1 remake, the article that they were in, like an interview, they said they want to they're not afraid to change some of the aspects of the game for modern audiences. And I'm gonna be honest, the comments under that were kinda dumb, because you see, people assumed when they said like modern audiences, you know, they're afraid they're going to completely change the story and something like that, which, you know, that terminology is used for something similar or whatever, but it's literally about gameplay elements, because let's look at the combat of The Witcher 1. So in The Witcher 1 combat, you have to click within a certain time frame to do a certain combo, and you have to switch between 3 styles: the light, the heavy, and I don't remember, like the group style. So by doing that and then clicking the button and then everything being unresponsive most of the time, it's not really something you want in a remake. So when they talk about gameplay systems bring to modern audiences, they think like that, because Witcher 1 story is fantastic, but a lot of gameplay elements, I mean, let's face it, it's an old game, they're outdated. When does it begin? It begins in 50 minutes on Twitch. So what usually happens, as I said, I do a 1 hour pre-show, and if you want to watch it exclusively just on Twitch without me, then it's twitch.tv/cdprojectred. TLDR, Witcher 1 fight was garbage. Yeah, I mean, you get used to it after a while, but yeah, I mean, it you know, it can be frustrating, especially like even fighting like multiple enemies. It was even with group style, like going into catacombs and fighting monsters. It wasn't really responsive. It like. Are you planning to play From Software games? I do play them. I mean, I don't cover a lot of games that I play on this channel, but I play their games. I played most of their games. I just recently started replaying Bloodborne. Now, I kind of wish for a remake, but sadly doesn't happen. Will there be a patch for NPC life improvement and traffic density? I doubt, but you have to ask CD Projekt for that. I don't know their plans. Like, I don't know it. Now, if you go to SteamDB, let me just check quickly. Because last time I checked, there was nothing happening in like the background of Cyberpunk. But let me see those depots. If there's something new. No, there's just a public branch 7 days ago, pretty much. So that's with that. I hope you're right, man. I mean, I don't see a reason why would something like why would you change the story? Because, you know, I'm pretty sure they are aware that if you change the story of The Witcher 1 for how it is, because it was pretty awesome. Now, of course, it depends if they're gonna be adding some more stuff to expand on the game. Like, depending how they do it, because if they want to keep it open world, if they want to make it open world, they have to expand it a little bit, because, you know, going like through like the levels in The Witcher 1, you know, it's pretty small compared to what you're used to in today's standards. Now it depends if they keep the game in some way, shape or form similar to that, like having different areas of the map which you go through by, you know, having some traversal options. We'll see. But I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're gonna be modernizing it a lot more, because, you know, they want as many people to play it as possible. And you also have to take into account consoles. Like, imagine that fighting style in The Witcher 1 on consoles. Have you heard of the audiobook of Cyberpunk? No coincidence with Sarah Me? Yeah. That's awesome. I mean, let's face it, having people like that, having voice actors or actresses from the game to do that sort of stuff, to voice certain like audiobooks, it's awesome. Like, why not? It's such a smart decision, because people who, let's say, who are not usually going for audiobooks might go for it because, hey, it's someone from the game, you know, it's gonna be a familiar voice. I mean, imagine, I don't know if Doug Cockle ever did like audiobooks for The Witcher, but it would, imagine if you had like Doug Cockle reading out maybe The Witcher or maybe Dandelion from like the game, and they read through the book or something like that. Imagine like having a full audiobook like play with like different actors from the game voicing different characters which are available in the book. I mean, that would be cool. That would be expensive, but cool. Me too. I'm downloading FF7 Rebirth demo. Oh, so the demo is available. I'll get it after the stream then. I'll start downloading. I didn't know it was available. I forgot. I'll check it out. It's gonna be hard to choose between Shani or Triss. I don't know. For me, Shani is very logical choice. Now, of course, it's not the book choice, and people are going, well, you know, Yennefer is Geralt, you know, Triss is more Geralt because contrast here, contrast that, you know how writers like to do. But I mean, I don't know. I like Shani as a character, but I mean, in a perfect world, maybe Shani would be that, but it depends. Like Geralt is not like Geralt is a lot more adventurous, you know, than Shani, and you have Triss and Yennefer fit into that more, you know, because they're in a similar lifestyle. Like they're not witchers, but they're sorceresses, so they go around castles, they go around usually places where Geralt likes to hang out as well. Witcher 2 goated, I'm okay with that size. Witcher 2 was really good. I mean, I wonder if they're gonna remake that as well one day. I mean, maybe. But I mean, even today, like Witcher 2 graphically, and even gameplay wise, like it's a little bit more stiffer in fighting than, for example, The Witcher 3, but it's pretty good. Takes a bit to get used to it, but once you do, it's pretty good. Hey Aboin, what's up? How's it going? Going great, actually. Going great. I didn't get much sleep, but I managed to get the video out and this stream, very nice. Didn't even need a horse in The Witcher 2. Yeah, I mean, it was smaller in size, pretty much. I enjoyed Witcher 1 fight mechanics than Elden Ring. I don't know. I don't know about that. Do you think Witcher remake will be out in the next 2 years? I hope so, but who knows? I mean, impossible to know right now with their dates. Peter Kenny read the Witcher audiobooks. It's insane how good he is. Ooh, nice. I'll have to check it out. So is that like audio? Because I don't know, like if there's any more providers. Like I know like some audiobook providers. Witcher 2 felt smaller than Witcher 1, but I really loved Geralt's involvement in politics. And yeah, it was pretty good story. I mean, going for the whole human, non-human, Squirtle story, you know, and then on top of that, introducing Leto of Gullet, you know, that was cool. I mean, one of the coolest Witchers out there, definitely. Like, I remember the first time seeing Leto, like in that trailer, where he goes up and he, you know, attacks, you know, on the ship, you know, what happens. That was cool. Like, that whole trailer with the music and then the slow motion, seeing that basically force of, like, power just attacking them. And it was always funny at the beginning because Leto, yeah, pretty big guy. Pretty big guy. But his movement, crazy. What's my opinion on the latest Orion news? I mean, I did a video, but generally it feels good. I mean, Gabe is still staying as a director. Pave is becoming associate director to the game. They got some pretty good writers. They got people on the technical side. I mean, we shall see. We shall see. I mean, if you go to their hiring page, they're mostly hiring seniors and leads. So it kind of gives you like the picture of like where the project is. Like you have this group, which is like the core group, which started concepting everything, you know, and where things are going, some outlines of the story, then, you know, adding more people on top of that, which are slowly gonna starting, you know, to shape like, you know, vertical slices in a sense. So pretty far away. But on the Witcher side, though, a lot of people developing that. I mean, think about it. By now, they probably know, like what's it gonna be, like, for the next Witcher? Like, is it gonna be predefined character, create your own Witcher? We'll see. That trailer was great, definitely. How are you enjoying your time with Powerworld? Do you think Cdpr should also make a clone like that? Definitely not a clone, because that's the thing with these games. Like, you have Powerworld coming out now, and you're gonna probably have a bunch of like other similar games come out as well, and then over here Pokemon and Nintendo is gonna be going like, oh my god, like they're gonna have to pay more to their lawyers. Oh my god. So now they should just focus on their own. But I'm pretty sure they're looking at it. I mean, every single company right now is looking at Powerworld and going like, okay, that works. You know, because you feel a niche, simple as that. But do I enjoy it? Yeah, I mean, it's a fun game, definitely. Right now I'm playing that, but these past 3 days I've been playing Enshrouded a lot more. Pretty cool game as well. RPG survival kind of a stuff, you know, it's a mix of both, but not, I don't know, I think it leans a lot more to that RPG side with, like, you know, survival base building, resources collecting, you know. Hey Decon, what's up, my friend? What's up? Morning. I know this is like very early for people in the States. Wait, let me see. World clock. Yeah, so in LA it's 8 a.m. and in New York it's 11. So pretty early. One of the things I like about Cdpr is that they have these events very like early-ish for me, because Bethesda ones are the worst. Like Bethesda hosts an event and it's like 3 a.m. in my place, so it's I don't even like react to it. Did you play Dragon's Dogma 1? Yes. Yes. So the thing with Dragon's Dogma is that I played it off and on before. Now, one of the people who really started like, not really like explain, how would I say, who really started to get me into Dragon's Dogma was Click for Gameplay. I don't know if you saw that channel. He's a good friend. Definitely check him out. Does a lot of RPG content, like heavy RPG content, playing like different games from different studios. So Click for Games, definitely. Or Click for Gameplay or Click for Games. Let me see. Click for Gameplay. Sorry, Click for Gameplay. Great channel. He really like pushed me a lot into Dragon's Dogma. Like he loves it a lot. So yeah, I did. Pretty good game. I'm looking forward to like Dragon's Dogma 2. I will be covering that once the game is out. Sigma Prime, thank you so much for your $10 donation. Thank you so much. LKM, you are the best, brother. Been watching you since before Cyberpunk 2077 release. Keep up the amazing work. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's actually insane that I've been covering Cyberpunk since like 2016. So my first Cyberpunk video is in 2016. Before that it was The Witcher content, and before that it was Fallout 4 content. Like I did a lot of Fallout 4 content, like a lot. C-Tanic, greetings sir. C4G is an awesome RPG channel with a terrible name. Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah, but it's good. I mean, you get used to it. I don't know, like the thing with channel names, like it's like you look at mine, like LastKnownMeal. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Like, you know how much I had to fight the CEO, the algorithm stuff, so I can actually come up when you search LastKnownMeal, so you don't get like LastKnownMeals of prisoners on death row video. Like, it was wild. That's crazy. I didn't even know Cyberpunk existed in 2016. Yeah, the trailer got me, you know, just like that. But I was following CD Projekt anyway, so that kind of popped up, and you know, just kind of went into it. But I'm glad I did. I'm very glad. Like I knew at that time more about The Witcher, much more, because you know, it's something if you're from Eastern Europe, Balkan region, you probably heard about, you maybe read the books, you know kind of the story, so I was into that. Now for Cyberpunk I knew some of the stuff. Now I wasn't as versatile with it at start as, for example, Mad Queen, who played tabletop RPG like Cyberpunk 2020 since like ages, so she knew the lore. Let's have a celebration party in 2026, 10th anniversary. Yeah. Oof. We're gonna be all up. Hopefully we celebrate it with the Witcher game by then. What's your thoughts on Hogwarts Legacy being the highest selling game of 2023? Well, that's what happens when you mix in a few things. First of all, you mix in the IP. J.K. Rowling, like her, dislike her, not going into that in this video because that's a big topic that oh boy, we don't want to get into. The IP of Harry Potter is huge. It was even bigger back then, but even today it's huge. I mean, the amount of copies sold was insane for the books. I mean, let's face it. So you have the IP, which was already, big. You get a game which is an RPG, open world stuff, and people are like, okay, that's Harry Potter, you get to play and blah blah blah. And then on top of that, you had the drama surrounding the game, and then, some people buy it in spite, some people buy it because I honestly enjoyed the game. I did. I actually had a stream when that came out. I liked it. It was a pretty good game, although it had its minuses. I think they should have used Hogwarts more. It was kinda there, you were kinda in it, you were doing some stuff, but it wasn't kinda the thing. I wanted more stuff in the Hogwarts castle itself. I mean, I liked everything around it. It was cool, but Hogwarts itself kinda left, up and about. I'm looking forward to Capcom discounts in a few months. Yeah. I love discounts. Steam has been doing them like crazy these days. Same here, I was following you since you had about 1,000 subs. Wild how far you've come. Thank you, man. Thank you. Honestly, I never expected that I was ever going to reach the amount of subs I have. Never. Ever. Like, that's insane still. I got Cyberpunk on day one release and always loved the game and rolled even with bugs. Yeah, I mean, that was the same for me. I was lucky because I was on PC. PC version was somehow destablest in a sense, if that's even a word. But the problem is when you have a lot of bugs, when you have a lot of glitches, which let's say PlayStation 4 and Xbox One had when it came out, you cannot appreciate the story, you cannot fully appreciate the story because of those bugs, crashes, and you kind of get nervous and you don't follow the story, then you don't get the details of the world. So yeah, I mean, a lot of people went back into the game and said like, whoa, the story is amazing. Yeah, the story was pretty good. Plus Mad Queen, do you know why her channel do not exist anymore? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm also playing The Witcher 3 after so many years. Yeah, same. I always go back to it, do stuff. UNC4G got me interested in the less known European RPGs and AA games like Elix. I'm looking forward to Banished Ghosts of New Eden. Yeah, too bad for Piranha Bytes and too bad for Elix, honestly. Like, I mean, I always, when it comes to Elix World, I like it, but you can definitely see, like, it was underfunded. They were pushing as much as they can to fill in the game with content, but there's only so much you can do on the level which they wanted to do. I hope Ryan sticks with single player, but I hope they incorporate something like pawn system in Dragon's Dogma. It's so unique and good way to connect to other players. Oof, if it works, I don't know. Whenever you put like, whenever like, oh, this game has a cool feature, maybe it's gonna be useful here, and it's not, it depends. But maybe having some sort of a follower in the next game or a companion somewhat system or not. I mean, depends on the game. Depends how they do it. What J.K. Rowling did was amazing. Of course, it would sell. Hogwarts Legacy wasn't a perfect game. It was decent. Yeah, it was a pretty good game. Yeah, pretty good. I mean, I think they want to do like a sequel or something. We'll see. That always generates drama, dude. That game. Hard work pays off. Thanks, man. Seeing all of these videos on Twitter of folks using Apple Vision Pro in public brain dances have now become a prophecy. Yeah, I've seen those as well. It's like how fast you go into that cyberpunk stuff, because when a company does something like that big, you're gonna have people who are gonna be doing that. Like, it's only a matter of time. Obviously, it's still very early, not a lot of people want to adopt that sort of technology, but don't be surprised if you, in a few months or maybe a year, depending obviously on where you live, you see a guy walking with that. Now, the only funny thing is when it comes to wearing a $4,000, $5,000 headset on your head is that it can be snatched off as well. So props to those people for doing that in the public, but I would never, ever in my life, especially a tech that big, which is not really a part of everyday life. Like in Cyberpunk, okay, you see every third person with the goggles on with like some form of brain dance, but here, imagine ripping that off of your head, because you know that's all that happened. Like you're gonna walk into some alley, someone's gonna be like, just run past you on a bike or maybe run. Props for doing that. I think someone asked any projects, any thoughts on Hadar? Yeah, waifu eater. Any thoughts on Hadar? I don't know. I hope it's good. I don't know. Like, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Really glad Embracer didn't cancel the Gothic remake. Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it. I hope not. Like, they're so trigger happy that I wouldn't be surprised like if Gothic remake is like it's not cancelled, but my god, it wouldn't be impossible. Just they need to give me New Game Plus ASAP. Ooh, now that's coming. Sirius is going MP as well. Now we'll see what sort of multiplayer, because when they say online element, when they say multiplayer, it can be many things, you know. It can be fully fleshed out multiplayer, it could be something smaller, it could be some sort of a co-op. I don't know. I mean, it would be kind of cool if you had at least some sort of a co-op within the next Cyberpunk sequel. Imagine like playing it with your friends, doing some missions in the open world. That would be fun. I don't know about full open world though. I mean, full multiplayer like stuff. That I don't know how that would work. But I mean, technically, you know, Cyberpunk 2077 derives from tabletop RPG, which is always played in groups. So it would be cool to, like, let's say do a mission in co-op, and you have one netrunner, you have one solo, you have one whatever, techie, who only focuses on that. That's why I say it would be cool if we could really, you know, go into like a character tree properly. I don't want to be a jack of all trades. I want to be specifically good at something, but if you're specifically good at something in a certain class, there is benefits to it. V is Johnny now, so no New Game Plus is canon. Imagine you replay the game again as Johnny. I'm kidding. Phantom Liberty made me go on and PS5 to play that expansion. Regarding Orion, will it make sense to have the plot set somewhere else other than Night City? For me, no. Cyberpunk 2077 was always Night City, pretty much. Now, you can always go to a different city, of course, but not every city out there is Night City. Like, not every city in New USA or even the Free States, if you're gonna be going from the lore, is the corporate city, you know. It doesn't really work that way. It would be cool to maybe visit those areas in the expansion, but full game, I don't know. I'm pro Night City. Cyberpunk 2077 is so much different than other RPG. Storytelling with first person perspective just nails it. I study electronics, so technical part of the game got me addicted immediately. Yeah, I mean, pulling off those sort of like dialogues, especially continuously, and you being able to do whatever you want, and still kind of maintaining a certain dialogue and how you want to answer and where, it's good. I mean, they do benefit. I do again wish that in the next game, if they are going for first person only, that there's more animations for that sort of a stuff where you're just doing some random stuff, because I mean that kind of elevates that first person even more. And I hope that visibility from the vehicles in the Cyberpunk sequel is gonna be good, because V drives like this. This is how V drives, like this. This is how V drives, and I hate it. I hate that. Damn, another red stream? Might as well do another expansion. If any of the Cyberpunk characters could be the cameo in Tekken, Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter, who would like to see? Smasher. It would be cool to have Smasher in Mortal Kombat, dude. Imagine that, Smasher in Mortal Kombat. Ooh. I would like to see Smasher much more in Mortal Kombat than I want to see him in Tekken or something, just because of that, you know, gore effect. Hey man, have you played any Souls-like games in the past? Yes. Yes. I mean, to be honest, like, I love From Software games. I played every one. Wait. Did I play every single one? I didn't play the expansion for Dark Souls 3. That's one I didn't play. So that's the thing. Is that official Cyberpunk channel? Am I getting sued? I'm kidding. Just quickly jumping in, wishing everyone a good evening, a good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are, and we hope you will enjoy our stream. Stay awesome, Chooms. Thank you, thank you, thank you, official Cyberpunk channel, for stopping by. Hope I'm not getting bamboozled. Yeah, this is the official one. Ooh. Thank you for doing the stream. Can't wait to see it. This is really cool. I'm gonna be honest, this is kind of cool. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, we'll jump in. We'll jump in. We can't wait to see what happens. Is the stream on? Let me see. I don't think it's on yet. Nope, it's not on yet. So we'll keep a watch. We'll keep a lookout. Please shout at me and Gavin next. This is really cool. Thank you for stopping by, guys. Thank you. This is kind of cool. I use motorcycles. It's so cool. Yeah. Yeah. Driving first person from motorcycles is really cool. Especially because of that detail where, you know, you switch gears and you do that. Like there is that, you know. And the sound is very good. Very good. Now that's cool. Like, oh boy, I'm glad that Cyberpunk official channel came by. Thank you again. Thought I was getting sued for a sec. Never back down, never give up. Johnny deserves no new game, plus it's canon. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, we'll see. Like, I'm really happy they're moving on, to be honest. Like, you know, moving on to just different games and different projects and different engine. You know, things are moving forward. I'm glad about it. Especially that the whole learning process and how that's going to be. Like, seeing everything, like, probably, I mean, if I was from the developer's perspective, they probably did that. You know, putting everything on the table. All right, let's see what works, what doesn't. And then seeing what hope, you know, comes next. Let's all sue LKM on behalf of Cyberpunk. Winman95. Welcome, LKM. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Please don't sue me. Oh man, I already have enough work as it is. I don't need to be dealing with that as well. Also, this year we are getting, hopefully, this year we're getting the modding tools for The Witcher 3. I really hope, like, the modding community for The Witcher 3 blows up again, you know. Because I'm pretty sure people have a lot of ideas when it comes to, like, some of the mods, so I'm hoping for the best. We'll see. We'll make a video on it. Man, I'm so glad someone from my region made it. Big respect and hope that you grow in more because you deserve it. Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you, Prida Crow. Follow. Do you think the next game will be a new character or somehow carry over V depending on your choice, which might be difficult? To be honest, obviously I don't know. But I think V's story is probably done. I don't know. Because, I mean, looking at all of the endings without spoiling, even like the new ending which came with Phantom Liberty, it's kind of like, I never got the feeling after any ending of Cyberpunk, it's like, maybe this can continue. I mean, you kinda can in some, but would that be overtelling the story? You know, maybe they want to keep it as, you know, in the mist as possible. Like you have some, as you have with movies, you have endings which have like an open ending of sorts, relatively open, where you can kind of guess, all right, this might happen, that might happen. But it would be cool if maybe V appears like somewhere, you know, but I don't, maybe new character, I don't know, we'll see. Because it's still, then you have another problem, then it's still predefined character. How are you going to, like, is he gonna forget everything he learned before, being a top merc, taking Arasaka? How do you then deal with that? Now you have overpowered character, how do you nerf him? Do you pull on the gothic and like you plop a main character in the head and it's like, oh, you woke up again, now you know nothing? Maybe something like that. V story is definitely done. Now we can move on to X. New character. Why? Just why? Like, why? Or B. Hey B, what's up? I don't know. But it's kind of cool. It's just V to... I mean, it's obviously like male and female V are different characters of sorts. They are different characters. They have different names. But just having that V stuff, that was cool. Because, I mean, it's always like, you have to think about it. Like, when you give a name to a character, you have to give some name which is like, which can work in everything. You can't have like a Dave. Here is Dave. And then Dave looks, I don't know, whatever. That's why having maybe sort of these things like Shepard in Mass Effect, like it doesn't really matter like which character you had, it was kind of a Shepard. Now, of course, you had the canon ones, the cover ones, like for Cyberpunk. But I mean, Shepard was kind of cool. V versus Shepard. Yeah, I mean, Shepard is a very cool name when you think about, when you want to create a character which can be anything, male, female. You have to give it a name which makes some sort of a sense, or it's tied to a character. New character at V as construct in their head. Please, no more construct. I'm done with it. Oh man. I hope it's I hope we get more of the net. I mean, the net was present in Cyberpunk 2077, but it wasn't too much of a, you know. I wish we go more into the net. I wish there was some exploration. It's dangerous, but maybe it can be made interesting. I don't know, like, we're just guessing here. Who knows? Okay, we have a stream starting. Nope, not yet. We should be starting in 5 minutes. Next Cyberpunk will be an Adam Smasher origin story. You know what? Having some sort of a game, a little game where you play a Smasher would be kind of cool. Maybe a brain dance or something. Well, not play, but maybe you experience Smashers, like, I don't know. I wonder what's gonna be like next. Who are gonna be the enemies? Who's going to be the story? What's gonna be the story about? Oh man. I think they will relate to your Cyberpunk game playthrough the same way you did for The Witcher. They will ask you questions about events and V, then it's suited to your game. I mean, that's one of the options they can go for, definitely, but we'll see. Maybe they have a canon ending in their head for like the world, you know, because you have to think about the world in a sense. I mean, I was talking to Southern Locust the other day, very cool guy. You should visit his channel as well. He has been a part of the community for a very long time for Cyberpunk. Great dude. And we were talking about Phantom Liberty, and it's like, well, technically, if V does indeed save the world in the Phantom Liberty, like without going into spoilers, but if V wasn't there and events unfolded as they were, ooh, that would be kind of, you know, for the future of not just Night City, but also NUSA and everything. I mean, that would be a big, it would have a big ripple effect if something happens, you know. If V wasn't there. Just think about it. Well, no, no more construct, but I wonder how the experience will feel without having a partner hanging around. You kind of get used to a random conversation with Johnny on the road. Yeah, maybe they drew it through different characters, who knows? I mean, it all depends really on the character, like what sort of a story is it going to be, because V, as much as it's our character and our story, is still somewhat predefined in some areas, like depending on which, you know, origin story or life path you choose. There is still some history to what V did, in a sense. My wife walked in the room and you said, you look like Kieran Culkin. No, I can't unsee it. Really? That's the first time I hear it. Like they will ask you, have you heard about V? But yeah, having maybe some sort of a thing where, you know, things happen that way, where people say, oh yeah, there was this merc. He basically did all of these things, you know. That would be kind of cool. We should be starting in 15 minutes now. I'm gonna be tuning into the stream as soon as the countdown begins. Hopefully it's gonna be at like now, and hopefully it's not going to be a countdown at 5 p.m. I'm sure Cdpr will come up with something extraordinary as always. Yeah, I mean the Phantom Liberty story, oh, so good, dude. It's like you saw like everything like they have learned from like the Cyberpunk 2077 main story and how they want to fit it. I mean, maybe if it was like 10% longer, 15% longer, just to get more Hansen. I think a little bit of more Hansen would have been kind of cool, you know. Because Hansen is such a good character and we meet him. He's always like a figure which is there, you know, you see him a couple of times, but you know, I don't want to go for too far because I don't know like how many people finish the game. At this point, I think most people on the stream probably finished the game by now. If Jackie survived instead of V, Night City would have been screwed. Yeah, yeah, I mean, I love Jackie, great character, but damn, like, oh boy. Oof. But I still hope, oh, we have a stream. But I still hope that the next future trailers don't pull off Jackie in the trailer. Please don't do that. Please don't do that, please. All right, the stream is live. Let me just switch quickly to the countdown. Just give me a sec. I wonder if I move this to here, if something bad, I cannot do that. But what I can do is do this. Let's see. And turn on, wait, I forgot to turn on. Get this. Okay. Yeah, imagine getting a video with V in it and Cdpr makes contents for most creative combat and puts it there. Yeah, I mean, when you just think about from the lore perspective what V can do, like just bursting through enemies, like going through half of Pacifica, just it's insane. Like, think about it. Like, V is probably one of the strong. Like, of course, he has to be a strong character for the game's sake, but still. Even if V was like 40% like weaker than he is in the game, if he was like that, like 60% of his strength in the canon lore, he would still be crazy. Where can you watch the stream live? On twitch.tv/cdprojektred. Let me just paste that. Let me just quickly paste that. So if you want to watch the stream without me, there you go. That's the one on Twitch, and they upload the full like VODs from that stream on like YouTube after a few days. So that's without me. Everybody leaves now. I also wonder how YouTube likes when I put Twitch links. Let's see, we have a message. Just like last time, during this stream we have no announcements or news to share. Sorry, Chooms. I mean, at this point, if people were expecting some news, I mean, we already have the updates out, you know. So far, it's just behind the scenes stuff. Thoughts on the Witcher 1 remake? There are discussions about how much will change. You think they'll try to make it open world similar to the Witcher 3? Well, I mean, we talked a little bit about that. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, maybe going into open world would kind of make sense. Just by expanding some of the existing zones. Technically, you can connect them. Technically, depending, there are some zones in the Witcher 1 which are a little bit more difficult, I think, to connect in open world. But we'll see how they handle that, because that's also what I've been thinking about. Like, if you go like, I forgot the exact chapters. It's like chapter 3 or 4. There is this thing which happens, and it's not like you can open world that. It's not easy. Like, you would have to think about scale. Be strong. I wish they included cyberpsychosis so we're not too up. I mean, they have some form of like limitations, yeah, but there is also a very cool like cyberpsychosis mod if you want that. If you're on PC though. Which punishes you a lot more. I don't know if it's updated for like 2.0 and 2.1 because of the new system of how Cyberware does stuff. I wonder if Rayfield paint customization will later be applied to all cars, maybe some paint shop for the less lucrative car brands. It would be cool, but you know, they kinda made it Rayfield exclusive because of like prestige you get by buying Rayfield, I think. But I think there is still a bug where it depends, regardless of the car you're sitting in, if you're holding the button which starts off the UI, it's going to turn on. I think so. Because I tried that and it worked for me. Like, it doesn't change the color, but the UI appears on all cars. Or most ones which I tried. You expect Witcher Remake to be the next major release? You know, I'm a bit confused when it comes to that. It's probably like an internal thing. They'll see which project is closer to what, to like being released. Because you have the Witcher 1 Remake, you have the new Witcher game, and you have the new Witcher game is, I think it's still The Witcher, hopefully, we'll see, from Molasses Flood, unless that's changed. Those are the 3 games which are like maybe closer in like one phase, and then later on we get the Cyberpunk phase. But we'll see. I'm really looking forward to the Molasses Flood game as well, because I really want to know like what they have planned for like broader audiences. Is it going to be survival stuff? Is it going to be something else? Is it going to be, I don't know. Maybe they go with The Witcher 1 first, but impossible to know, like, especially with like, I just hope it's out when it's ready. Let's just call it like that. I hope it's out when it's ready, and you know, I don't mind waiting, just when it's ready. Relax, get it out. I've only played Cyberpunk on PS4 and PS5. Yeah. Pavel getting associate game director position is awesome. Yeah, he's been associate game director. Gabe is staying as game director. They have Straczynski. They have Kacper. Very cool team. And a bunch of others. I don't want to miss someone. I don't know, man. I think Refused pretty dope, especially the job that they did on Samurai. Gonna be honest, they were pretty good. Who do you think Witcher 4 protagonist will be? I don't know. I don't know. I know Neon Knight wants Jorvet to return. I know he wants Jorvet probably just to be a character on the side. Because I know Neon Knight has been around like about Jorvet a lot. Is it Jorvet or I think Jorvet more than Vernon Roche. I wanna know about Hadar. You and me both, man. You and me both. I mean, when you think about Hadar, it has to be something which can go into like the popular culture, into pop culture. So whatever it is, you have to think about, can you franchise it? So it must have some interesting characters, world, design, stuff which you can also franchise and expand from it, because ultimately that's what they want and that's what they've been doing with Cyberpunk. And Neonite is amazing, absolutely. If you haven't, check out his latest video. Check out his latest video. The all of the decisions Geralt would make, but I think he went the Hearts of Stone expansion. Very good video. If Witcher 4 has character creation and then I'm making a proper Eastern European Slav. You're gonna get McCulkin. Wait, is that the one from Home Alone or is that the other guy? Because I always mistake those two guys, the one from Succession and him. It's like, are they brothers? Are they brothers? Are they related? Combat music should have a toggle on off setting. Everything except PL music, often immersion breaking. I don't know. It's like I like this when it pumps, but you can lower it down. I mean, have you eaten before the stream, LKM? Yeah, had some food finally. Had some food finally. We're starting in 6 minutes. I'm really looking forward to this discussion. I'm going to obviously turn on the volume a bit more once we start. Is there any new info we can expect for the game? No, new info. Nothing. Nada. They also have a pinned comment saying it. So no new info, nothing. This is just behind the scenes red stuff. I'm looking forward to this because of the discussion. I want to know more about the development and the characters and everything. Yeah, but no news, nothing. Nada. No. Our co-optics will break through sniper, clear everyone in the building from one room. Yeah, I like you can shoot through walls. It's kind of cool, especially because you can see the outlines when you zoom in on the character. That's pretty cool. I like that it gives you that many stuff. Like Ricochet is pretty cool as an idea. I know like not a lot of people use Ricochet in Cyberpunk, and it can be kind of situational because, you know, depending on where the character is, if you can hit that shot. But I like the idea of ricocheting bullets and how you can see it with Kiroshi. That was kind of fun. Maybe, you know, maybe they expand upon it, maybe not, we'll see. But I do dig it. What do you think about the new hirings? I'm pretty surprised about writers. I am positively surprised about the writers, to be honest. I'm surprised of those people they hired. Pretty good. Pretty good, yeah. Like they're very much gearing up for it. You know, behind the scenes for like concept stuff. And I just hope that once it comes out, once that is out, that everything is gonna be fine, you know, that the release is gonna be smooth. That's what I'm hoping for. My assumption, Witcher 2026, Cyberpunk 2028, and Hadar 2030 makes sense. Hopefully. Man, 2030, that's so far. That's 6 years. I'm gonna be old. Oh boy. I mean, I'm hopefully 2026 for The Witcher, we'll see. I mean, 2025 is gonna be, you know, it's let's face it, you can like or dislike GTA 6, but everything which releases close to GTA or after GTA, I'm surprised they didn't bring any of the 2077 writers. I mean, who knows, like, what they do structurally, or if they mention everyone who's now involved in the project. I mean, not everyone kind of, you know, gets announced in that sense. Where do people get all of these stickers? What is this sticker? Is this from YouTube? What are these stickers? These emojis. Damn shame they removed homing a sticker grenade with 2.0. Huh? Hope they don't tone down The Witcher after Witcher 3? In what term? Just make it good. Take the time it takes to make it. Pretty much. It will be fun to replay through New Game Plus. I mean, the chances of that happening are zero for, obviously, for Cyberpunk 2077, or like 0.001%. But maybe in like the next sequel, because it's such a requested feature that, you know, maybe for like the Cyberpunk sequel they think about, you know, New Game Plus. So I never played The Witcher. Do I need to go play it? Yeah. I mean, you can start from The Witcher 3, obviously. You can start from The Witcher 1. It's kind of oldish by now, if you can get used to gameplay elements, but the story is phenomenal. Witcher 2, phenomenal. And Witcher 3, well, classic. But yeah, I mean, even if you didn't play like the first two Witcher games, you can play The Witcher 3 and you're not going to miss too much. Okay, 50 seconds. I shouldn't have supposed to do that. Okay, I'm gonna slowly start turning on the volume, just so you know. Like nudity, Cyberpunk was more toned down. Ooh, I don't know, like, how much toned down that was. Oh man, I mean, depends. I don't know, we'll see. Recommend reading the books. Yeah. If you have the time, definitely. Alright. I'm gonna slowly start raising the volume, just so you know.
Hello and welcome to another special episode of the Red Stream. My name is Amelia. I will be your host today, together with my best friend, Alix Wilton.
Hey guys.
And we have two super cool guests that you'd never guess we will have. So please welcome the voice of old, Alix Wilton Regan.
Hi guys.
And the one and only Jane Perry, our rogue.
Hello. It's amazing to have you here,
If it's
ladies.
too loud,
I hope you
tell
feel
me.
in this special room, special studio that we prepared.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Oh no,
Thank
it's
you.
great to be here. We're super excited.
Like transported right into Cyberpunk.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's just, yeah, I'm really fangirling today. I'm like, oh my God, here we are. Yeah, it's great.
Awesome. So let's jump in. We have some questions and let's just have a chat.
Yeah.
Yes, so you mentioned that, we're here, it's Cyberpunk, right? How does it feel after all those years, to see how the Cyberpunk evolved after you, done your recordings and after you see the game evolve?
Feels great.
It does.
Yeah.
It's super interesting because we were having this conversation this morning about how, when you're brought in to do a game as a voice artist, it's kind of just you in the booth with your director and the game director, and you're connected to it, but you feel sort of connected in a very indirect kind of way. And so when we have these opportunities to come and meet the developers and to be in your space and to see all of these things, it really kind of cements the experience, And I think we all find that exciting and interesting, and it for me personally makes me feel more a part of the community and in many ways more part of the game.
Yeah, we don't often get invited to see behind the scenes, to meet the creatives, the collaborators, the writers, the designers, the voice directors. We hear you all in our we call them cans, which means our headphones. We hear you in our headphones, but we don't often get to meet you. So to actually meet you all and see it from your perspective, it's a real privilege, and it just feels so cohesive to be invited in, and it kind of makes the whole thing more organic, and you put a face to the name, and you find out a bit more about what we're doing, and we find out more what you're doing, and it kind of just brings everyone else together. So,
yeah.
more, please.
Absolutely.
I love that moment when we arrived this morning and you come up to the building and you see CD Projekt Red.
Yeah.
And I felt this like, oh my God, this is where the magic happens, you know? Like, this is the seat of this whole game and other amazing games too. And it's a bit like when you go to Hollywood and you end up on set and you're like, wow, it's just, there's so much creativity. And as you say, Alix, to meet you know, everybody who's working on every aspect of the game is really meaningful to us actors, because we don't always get that opportunity. And it's a real sort of golden moment, you know, because it's a group effort, isn't it? Obviously, games.
Oh yeah,
it's
there's
a massive,
so many people.
There's so many people, and sometimes as a voice actor, you know, really you feel a little bit like it's just you, or you're working always alone. But of course, you're not. There's many, many people participating.
Just one of
in
the
this
elements,
process.
right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So Cyberpunk came out
Returnal as well.
more than 3 years ago, and probably your work on it started even earlier. So how do you feel being a part of this, and how do you feel about Cyberpunk after all those years?
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a bloody cool franchise to be a part of. I'll say that. You guys do excellent merchandise. You have excellent taste in actors. No, it's incredible. I remember my audition, which would have been 2017, something like that. So going back a really long way, because obviously you start years before the release date. And I remember going in, and the audition scene was the scene with Alt and Johnny at the gig that leads into Sexy Time. And so that was the audition. I remember doing it and finding a bit about it. Hadn't seen a visual for her. And then after that, when they actually called me in and told me about it, it was quite funny, because obviously Alt, spoiler alert, does not spend the entire game in human form. I know that will come as a shock to many people watching this. But so of course she has a completely different voice when she becomes an AI. So that was quite interesting, because I hadn't auditioned doing that. But yeah, it was incredible. It was a great experience.
How did you find her voice?
I shouted and screamed at a lot of people initially, and then, no, I'm joking. How did I find her voice? For the AI thing, you mean? Well, she still had to stay American, so we had to stay there. We had to stay with the low, we had to stay with the husky, but we had to make everything smooth, very smooth. And so I ended up, I actually wish they'd put a camera on me in the booth when I was recording it, because I don't think I've done this before or since. I did a huge amount of Tai Chi. So I was like, Johnny, this is not what you want to do. And it was all this kind of like, all my arms would be like, how are you feeling today? Why are you so angry? And it was just my arms were just doing this the whole time to help with my breath.
Like you're doing the
whole time.
Emotionless, to stay emotionless or something like that?
Not emotionless, but just make everything smooth. It was smooth it out, smooth it out, smooth it out. That's what it was.
Okay. But you know, it's funny because you played the human alt and the AI alt, so you basically played two characters, but it's the same for you, Jane, because you played the young rogue and the old rogue. So how different they were for you?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because you sort of have to think, well, how does this person evolve and change and grow? So, as I recall, we started with older Rogue, who's 80 years old. Looks pretty good.
She doesn't look...
I hope I look like that when I'm 80.
How did you do that, though? Because old is hard to play as well.
Old is hard. I just played it as I am.
Oh, stop
old
it.
now. And then you sort of have to reverse engineer it a little bit and think, well, because she's a pretty tough character. I think she's always had that grit. But, you know, obviously when she's younger, she hasn't had all of these experiences that turn her into the person that she becomes. So it's about softening and perhaps inviting a little bit of naivete into the voice and making the voice sound a little bit younger, but so it's still the same character. and I think it's just taking key elements of the voice and yeah, just softening it a little bit, and maybe raising the pitch, you know, half a note and that sort of thing, and then trying to maintain that.
Wow, that's interesting. Can we get a little bit of the older Rogue and the younger Rogue from you?
Okay, what do you want me to say to you? What do you expect me to say? That's the older Rogue. And
That's pretty good.
yeah, I don't know. Like, what's that drink? I don't know.
Was really
Right.
good. Plus, you know, the younger Rogue that we meet in the game, she is like, you know, with Johnny, she is, you know,
Yes.
pumped on adrenaline and
Yes.
going to blow up the Arasaka, right? So she has that also like a bit of rebel in her voice.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I think you girls did, you know, amazing job voicing those characters. I know our community loves both of your characters. So how do you feel about all those love that your characters do? We have a lot of cosplayers doing Old and Rogue. You will actually meet one of them
Yay!
later on. But yeah, like how, you know, how does it feel to be seen, you know, as your character? Not only as a Old and Rogue, of
Yeah.
course, but of all of your roles.
I love it. I mean, I've said this in so many interviews, and I really stand by it. The gaming community is fucking incredible. Like, but truly, and I'm not saying that to be nice. I'm sure Jane feels the same. Like, we get messages of like love, support, adoration, all the lovely things that boost oxytocin and serotonin and make you feel good, you know? And it's incredible to get that feedback on your work when, for example, if you were in film and television, you might not get such a strong sense of feedback.
Yeah.
But because of the interaction of social media and the gaming community, we get a lot of feedback. And luckily, touch wood, you know, it's mainly positive and people are mainly lovely, and they tell you these incredible stories about video games saving their lives, or helping them to learn to walk again, or helping them survive the death of a parent, or coming to terms with their sexuality. And I just think that's the biggest privilege ever. I really do, to have this impact. Thank you. This ability to reach people. I was going to say, but impact is exactly the right word.
The impact of games. I like
Yeah,
that.
Alex and I went to the Phantom Liberty launch party in London.
Yeah.
And it was such a brilliant evening because we
Yeah.
just showed up and unannounced, and we just started mixing in with the crowd, and people were like, oh my goodness. And it was really lovely to hear players' sort of personal stories in terms of their connection to the game, what the game means to them, and then also the characters' journeys. And I always feel incredibly honored to be a part of that. And to be honest, when I first started getting into games, I really had no sort of expectation of that happening. And I find it very deeply touching.
And quite humbling as well.
Very humbling, yeah. And, you know, it was a while ago since we recorded this game, but actually it's really kept alive by this quite consistent interaction with fans, which I really, really appreciate.
How your actually journey started with the, you know, voice acting? Because you guys have amazing portfolio and you voiced so many good games. How does it start? Because I know our community always asks us this question. Any tips for the beginners of the voice actors? And obviously we don't know anything, so while you're here.
No. Do you want to go for it, Svea?
Well, it's a really interesting question, you know, because I think Alex and I started voicing games probably in 2010. I don't know when you started, Alex,
no
but
updates, nothing. This
Yeah.
is behind the
so
scenes
that
stuff.
was, you know, quite a
No
few
new
years
updates
ago.
on
And
this one.
when people ask me how to get into games now, I feel like it's quite a different industry in the sense that games and the narratives and the characters and the creative possibility in games is now so apparent. And I think there was a time, you know, if we were to rewind 10, 12 years ago, where I don't think that was as obvious to people. I think it was to people in the gaming industry, but perhaps not so much to those outside of it. And now, obviously, people are paying attention. So I think, essentially, I got into games because I was a jobbing actress. I had moved to London, I had an agent, and one day they said, oh, you've got an audition for this game. And I was like, great, that sounds good to me. And off I went, and it was for a 007 game. And
I think I auditioned for that.
oh,
game.
did you?
I don't
You
know if we
auditioned for it
the
as
same
well.
part, but I did. Was it?
It was
We could probably
Moonraker.
say Goldeneye. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
mine was Goldeneye. I don't think mine
okay,
was Moonraker.
Moonraker.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got this.
I think we can say that. I don't think
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
NDA.
yeah,
It was a long
it's
time. It was
Unless
very
it's not
long.
under
NDA.
NDA. No. And I got it, and I was like, oh, okay, great. And I just, grabbed the challenge and the opportunity, and I went for it, and I really, really enjoyed it. And as is often the case, you sort of book one job, you get some experience doing that, and then they realize, oh, you're a safe pair of hands. Well, let's audition you for something else. And it created this wonderful momentum, which I feel incredibly grateful for. And so that's how I got started. It really was just an audition. And now, for people who want to get into the games, you're still going to have to audition. But I think there's probably maybe a lot more competition. I don't know what you think, Alix.
Yeah,
but
way more competition.
yeah, and but I guess really it's the same process, of being a good actor. This is the most important thing, to be a good actor.
Yeah.
And to be an actor who can really grab the information that's thrown at you and just commit to it and run with it and enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, I always say, the day of the voiceover is long dead now with your voice actors, and that I think is the key part, is you really have to be an actor and be able to act.
Yes.
In particular in the medium of video games. I think commercial is still a bit different and more voiceovery at times, but even commercials are a lot more naturalistic than they used to be.
Yeah.
But same as Jane, I started, I feel like maybe just before 2010, because of I remember the James Bond audition as well. So probably a little bit earlier than 2010, I had left drama school. I was waitressing by day and bartendering by night, and I was fucking bored. And I was like drinking and smoking and partying my way around London because I was in my early 20s. And I had done the Carlton Hobbs Award, which is a national award in Britain run by the BBC, and I'd won a couple of things there. So I thought, hang on a second, maybe I could do something with my voice, because I'd heard about voiceover. So I wrote to various agencies, and it took a while, and eventually one agency said, yeah, we'll take you on. And this one agent took me on, and they sent me for my first video game audition, which was Dragon Age Origins. And it was my first audition, and I booked the job, and I was thrilled. And after that, I was very lucky. I think I had a combination of being young and having quite a gravelly, low voice with quite a lot of gravitas for someone in their early 20s. And I very quickly was allowed to play very big roles in very large games, I think because of the combination of the youth and the sound that I had. So I was really lucky.
And your training and your talent, of course.
Thank you so much.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, we have to
Thank
mention
you.
that too.
That's very sweet to say.
Yeah.
I don't wanna speak over them.
So I felt very lucky, and I just kind of took off from there, But I think back to Jane's point, it is a very different industry nowadays. Back then, no one really wanted to do voiceovers. No one understood voices. Certainly, no one understood games.
Yeah, that's true. It's more mainstream right now.
Yeah. No one understood games, the potential of games. No one understood the level of acting that actually goes into good voice acting for good character creation for a game. I think that's a concept that's really fully formed in the last 10 years, and that's where people like myself and Jane come in. So advice nowadays, I think number one advice is just voice actor, focus on that bit and the rest will come together. If you understand your instrument, the rest will all come together.
Okay, so I'm not going to ask about your favorite project because it's
Cyberpunk.
It's Cyberpunk.
Yeah, because it's Cyberpunk.
Okay, then it's fine. So what's your favorite project, Alix?
It's actually Cyberpunk.
No, but
what's yours, Jane?
Oh, I please don't make me choose because I
just say Cyberpunk.
Oh,
babe.
Cyberpunk.
Yeah, dude.
What I do? Oh God.
Just leave it there.
Okay, fine.
Don't fuck it up. Just
right.
Cyberpunk. Okay.
Okay, yeah, it's Cyberpunk. Okay, but what's your favorite aspect of the job?
Oh gosh.
I can answer that.
Okay.
Because I've thought about this.
Yeah.
I love the volume of work. So a lot of people don't know that you can go in and do really quite a large and significant role on a film. For example, Naomi Harris in Moonlight, where she plays the lead character's mother, and she only had 3 days of work on that film. So a lot of people don't realize that when you can have a really integral role to a film or a television series, but actually the volume of work is quite small. In video games, because we have been so privileged to play such large characters on these projects, we record for months, sometimes years, and I love that because it gives me a chance as an actor and as an artist to go into a character and then a bit deeper, and then you go deeper, and then you meet the people around you, and then you discover more things and you get more ideas, and then if you're lucky, you go back for part 2 and part 3 and you do the DLCs, and I feel like you really get to invest in a character and hone who that character is. And then, you know, someone will throw a curveball at the character and they'll lose the love of their lives or whatever, something tragic, and you get to explore that. And I just love that. I love the depth of work that we get to do on video games, which I think a lot of people don't realize you don't always get that on a film or on a TV show necessarily. And it continues, right? So a play is a finite thing and that's it, that's the play, it's 2 hours, whatever. But with a video game, you're recording like hundreds and hundreds of hours, you know? So I just think, for me, I think as an actor, that is a real privilege. What do you think, sweetheart?
And you keep learning this character, right?
Yeah,
so
it's
it
amazing.
essentially becomes easier because you feel like you're out
The
on
more you
road.
do that.
Yeah, the more you do it. So.
I felt like a Tai Chi master by the end of Cyberpunk.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, for sure.
What about you?
Yeah, I think there is something really wonderful about that connection to a character that you keep revisiting for months and then years. You know, it becomes years after a certain point. And it's almost like that character, you know, becomes the kind of part of you that you get to visit. And I like that familiarity with character and also, of course, the people that you're working with. But I think there's something interesting about, you know, voicing a character that I really enjoy, which is that it puts you in the present moment because you have to be kind of in a state of readiness for whatever is going to come to you. And perhaps I should explain that, you know, as voice actors, we don't always, you know, we don't, for example, get a script in advance. So unlike film, TV, whatever, you read the whole thing and you sort of understand the character arc and you can kind of make choices and plan things around your character's journey. Whereas in games, you really know very little. You're learning in the here and now. And that puts me in the here and now. And I just enjoy working at that sort of speed and again in the present moment. It's quite hard sometimes to be in the present moment in life. Like we're always sort of scattered and think about other things, but as soon as I step into that, you know, studio and the microphone, I get into this zone and I find it a really special, creative, interesting place. And sometimes surprising things happen. You sort of surprise yourself. And it's like, oh, gosh, right. And it's like the character comes alive inside you and she starts making the choices.
Yeah. I also think, just to add to that, I think that one of the hallmarks of great,
actors are so
not just good, but great
grateful to work with those.
voice acting in games in
They do all
particular
that
or
and
audio
think
dramas
about
is
all of
about the
that.
level
My
of
God.
specificity we can go to as actors with our voice is really exciting. And when you've done it for years,
rare,
like we
it's
have,
not-
you
not
can
every
hear
actor is
the
easy to work with.
tiniest things and you're like, hang on, let me do that again with a pause at the middle, in the middle. Wait, no, the pause in the middle doesn't work. Let me try it one more time with a pause at the top. And they're like, that's what it is. It's that hesitation. And you can be so specific. And I find that really sexy.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. No, it's true because you really
Try
get to
getting a
use your
job,
skill and your
Cdpr.
craft in a very specific way, which is wonderful to
That would be kinda
engage
cool,
with
but
that.
not yet.
And the
Not
other thing I
ready
really love is
to even
you
apply.
have to recruit your imagination into the process. So you spend your whole day indulging in your imagination, really bringing it to the fore, and playing around in that kind of sandbox that's in your own mind, and that's exciting because again we don't always, you know, get to really engage in our imagination in our day-to-day lives. So this is a complete invitation to do that, and it's like being you know, it's like being a child again, where you just get to play and anything is possible.
So it's just fun, not a job.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
So, apart from becoming a master of Tai Chi, I'm sorry, but that was gonna be stuck with me, or the preparations.
Yeah, I'm
Do you
live,
actually
they're not.
prepare for your roles? Once you know, for example, that you learned that you will be rogue or out in Cyberpunk, did you try to find out more about those characters, or did you just like try to learn the character as you go with the lines?
For me, I knew that Alt was in the lore, the legends of Cyberpunk. You know, I knew she existed in that universe, but I also knew it was a totally new video game with a totally fresh take. And I knew what I'd been asked to do in the audition would be relatively close to that, basically. So when we stepped in, it was kind of a whole new thing. Does that make sense? She was her own fully fledged individual, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, lore-wise, yeah.
You captured her perfectly.
was.
I'm sorry, I love Alt. Like, this is one of my favorite characters.
You don't have to apologize for that.
Thank you. I mean, when it comes to Rogue, I believe that both Rogue, Alt, Somi, they're so powerful women in what they do, in their field they're doing, because obviously, I'm sorry, you're dead, but you are an AI, right? So you are a super powerful AI from the Black Wall. Somi is here and now, very powerful netrunner.
Yeah.
Rogue is, she. If you want
She's
something,
a badass.
Biggest badass in Night City.
Yeah.
She's a badass.
She is just the boss, right? And everyone knows if you want something, you go for Rogue.
Yeah.
And you have this connection of Johnny, right?
Yes.
So this is also like the connection between those two characters. So maybe he was a magnet of powerful women. I don't know.
Clearly.
But yeah, it's you captured Alt perfectly. At least for me, in my imagination of 2020 Alt, that she was alive. So well done.
Thank
And
you.
now we move to Rogue.
There's this wonderful moment when you get cast in a game, and it happens right at the beginning, and it's one of my favorite moments in the whole process, where you are there with your performance director and game director, and that's when you find the voice for the character. And so in terms of Rogue, and probably most of the game characters that I've played, I don't do research. If it's a pre-existing game, I'll look at the game to understand the genre, because that's very informative in terms of where you place the performance. But I really, again, getting back to what I was saying before, it all happens in the moment, and so this creation of the voice happens during this collaborative process where you're fed information about the character, who she is, what her values are, hopes and dreams, what she looks like, how her body is, where she carries her sort of energy. And you kind of take all this information, you let it sort of sink down, and then you start finding the voice. And that's the research. So it's not for me. I don't know it'd be really interesting to hear, what other voice actors say about that. But for me, that's happening in the moment. And so the research and the preparation is really just making sure that when I step into the studio, I am an open book.
Okay.
And that I leave the troubles and problems of my life at the door so that I am just available to the process, to receive the character, to hear what people say about her, to ask questions as well. So that's the prep. And I hope that doesn't sound like a cop-out in any way.
No, that sounds
But
That's
it's all very much in that moment. And again, I love that moment.
For an actor like that.
And do you feel that like you have some impact on what the character is and the character on you? So for example, what is in Rogue from you and what maybe did you take from Rogue?
Oh, what a great question. Whew, I don't know, because Rogue, she's so badass, she's so tough, and I really don't experience myself that way in my life at all. So I think possibly, I don't know how to answer that question. I think there's some residue of character that inevitably you take with you with each sort of character that you play. It's like maybe it's as thin as the skin, but it's still there in a way. And I suppose what I've learned from Rogue is that I could convincingly be that. Like, I can embody her toughness.
You can, for
Polly,
sure.
I
chill
don't
out
really have many
before you're
opportunities in my life to
blocked
sort
from
of
the
kick
channel.
butt the way she does.
Controlling or
Thank goodness. But I sort of feel like her toughness could be a part of me. I could recall it if I needed to.
In the moment
In the
when
moment.
you need it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's
Last
right.
time I tell you.
And did you give something to her from you?
Well, what I like about Rogue, I really do love her vulnerability. You know, it's these are the most interesting characters to play. It's always wonderful to play somebody who's tough and strong, but it's also nice to explore the other little hints that that there's more to the person than that. And Rogue, as we know, definitely has those elements to her. So I think I perhaps took some of the, you know, the softer aspects of that I've identified in myself and perhaps folded those into her a little bit. But, you know, that territory was already there for her. But maybe that's the only way I've informed Rogue.
That's amazing.
Otherwise, she's quite intimidating, and I'm sort of standing
She
off
is,
her.
for sure.
Yeah.
You could pull it off.
Absolutely.
How about you, Alix?
Parts of me and parts of alt in me.
Yeah. Or what did you learn from her?
What did I learn from her? That she's very powerful, that she has good sides and she has bad sides. Like a bit Machiavellian at times, kind of playing games, being a bit obtuse, that kind of thing. And I don't know, I just really, I felt I wanted to spend more time with her pre-becoming the AI super being. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
like I wanted to see more. I don't know, did you guys feel that as players or as fans that you could have done with a drop more of like her life pre-being kidnapped? Yeah.
I mean, personally for me, again, like Alt is
post
very
Alt.
interesting character.
Rather than pre,
When
we
she
know the
used to
story.
live and when she was actually, you know, creating Soulskiller and whatnot, I believe it could be a bit more of her.
Yes.
Maybe it's a hint for our developers team. I
think so.
Let's bring more Alt.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
But
our
Black
players
Hole
also, you know, resonate with that because we've seen a lot of comments, you know, we need more Alt, we need more this and this character. So definitely there is a need for that.
I think, because you're talking about Soulkiller,
Sarah,
right,
what's
and
up,
how she
man?
invented it,
What's up?
I would be interested in that, even as an actor, basically, which is like, how did she come to create that? Why was she creating that? What was the thing that kind of, I don't know. And that wasn't a hint, but it was just a genuine, like, it would have been
Soul
cool
killer.
to find out.
I'm just waiting for a petition that will
Yes.
start after this stream.
I would sign it.
I know. You would start it.
I want more
Nobody
Black
has to
Wall.
know.
What of it?
But yeah, so pretty much, what I also wanted to know, were there any very fond memories from the recordings that you keep with you all this time?
I think fond memories was quite nice when we would have Boris in our headphones down the line all the way from Warsaw, directing
My
us,
chat
you know,
sometimes, I swear.
probably sometimes quite late at night for him here, because he's an hour ahead. Not that late, but, you know, later. And the various moods he would come in with. I'm joking.
Yeah, especially towards the end.
Yeah, because you spend a lot of time, right,
Yeah.
with them, going through all these different peaks and troughs and highs and lows and all that kind of stuff. Fond memories. It was a really fond memory. It was very exciting when I found out, you know, that I was basically opposite Keanu Reeves for kind of the whole game. That was quite exciting, you know, and hearing his lines in my head, that was very exciting. Yeah, that was, of course, a kind of, oh my God moment. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to say, I have a really clear memory of the day that I heard Keanu's voice, because prior to that, I think it was Justin Villiers, or maybe it was Boris who was reading in the lines. I think it was Boris, actually. It was quite a good actor, I must say, reading in the lines for me to respond to. And then they got to this point where actually Keanu had recorded the lines and they could just play his lines for me to respond to. And the first time I heard his voice, I was like, oh, that's a bit exciting. So yeah, I really remember that moment. That was a great moment. Yeah.
But you didn't actually get to, work at the same place with Keanu at the same time. No, it was just the lines. And other actors as well?
Yeah, I think so.
That always kind of sucks.
But that's
when it's
quite
just the
common
voice.
because from a technical point of view, you have to isolate the voices.
Yeah.
So you can't really have two actors in the same booth at the same time because you need to isolate them
that doesn't make
recording
sense.
dependently.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just so that the technicians can have control of it later on.
Absolutely.
The first time, I did actually do a scene with Jeremiah, who plays the female V, but this was for a fundraiser that was done in the UK called In the Game for Ukraine, which is done by Side Global, which is where we recorded Cyberpunk. So that was the first time, for this charity event that I was able to work with another actor in the moment. On Cyberpunk, and that was just great. And of course, she's amazing, and it was so wonderful we didn't meet in person, but we did it on Zoom at the same time. So that was kind of exciting.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
So after all those years, it's like 7 years,
Rogue,
would you do it
and
again?
Alt as well.
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
Two actresses in action here.
You mean for Orion?
That too, but like in general, like from the Times perspective, the game was, had their up and downs, and we've been through various things, and it's been rough. Now it's pretty cool, let's say. So yeah, just wondering if that experience also would, make up your decision. Like, I don't want to do it from from what you see, or yes, I want to jump in and do it again.
I think even though the game obviously had its issues when it was launched, it's still a very exciting and sexy piece of IP to be a part of, right? Night City is a sexy place. The actors are sexy actors doing sexy. By the way, sexy, I don't necessarily mean just sexy. I mean funny, gorgeous,
There is a lot
dangerous,
of sexy
talented,
in that.
badass, all these kind of words. But it's a very enticing is a better word. It's a very enticing game to be a part of, irrespective of any bugs that there were at the launch, basically. It's still a very vivacious and exciting world. So yeah, 110% I'd do it again.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I also remember the first time I saw the trailer. This is, as an actor, when you first get a real sense of what the game's going to be like is when the launch trailer is released. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks so cool.
Yeah.
And I just felt so thrilled to be a part of it. And they're great characters, as you mentioned, Amelia, they're really interesting, powerful women. And it's it's just great to be able to play these wonderful women and to see what they get up to and to be a part of that. It's thrilling. So it's interesting because, when we finished recording Cyberpunk, I sort of said goodbye to Rogue, but then the next game I got involved in. So when you do a game, they never call the game by its title because there's so much secrecy around it. So they always have a project name.
I have to do it
And the
that
next
way.
game I got into, the project was called Project Rogue, and I was like, hang on a second. So she was still slightly like,
Somewhere
don't forget
in there.
about me. Yeah. So she kind of stayed with me by that a little bit.
But you both came back to record some lines for Phantom Liberty. How did that feel?
Oh, it's
great.
great. It was great. Oh, it's just delightful.
Yeah, it was delightful, and I knew that Idris was on it, so I was very excited.
Yeah.
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 Awesome. Okay, so we talked about like fun moments, memorable moments. How about like challenges from being a voice actress,
All right, Polly,
especially on
my
Cyberpunk,
friend,
but maybe
you're
also in general?
timed out.
What is
I just need
hard
to
in this job?
figure out how to do it because YouTube is
Sex
stupid.
scenes are always a little bit awkward.
Now you're making me work. That means
It's just
getting banned.
true. Like whether you're on set, whether you're on stage, whether you're in a voice booth, sex scenes are just a little bit awkward. They're not bad. They're just a bit like I'm very like, okay, guys, lights off. All the lights off. No, nobody look at me. Turn your chairs around. Turn your chairs around if I'm going to be orgasming into your headphones. Thank you. And then I'm like, okay, now we can record.
Okay, but I'm curious. How do you prepare yourself for
For a
such
sex scene with Keanu
Yeah.
Reeves? Oh, good question. I just kind of have to throw myself into it, like Jane talked about, being in the moment, that kind of stuff. So it's just more that slightly like uncomfortable awkwardness that you have to get around. And then it's great because it's a director. It's almost always a male director, and they have to give you direction on your orgasm sounds. I'm like, sorry, what did you just say exactly? Oh, okay, cool. Do you know what I mean?
always awkward, I guess.
So yeah,
No,
it's all funny and cheeky. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your most challenging moment?
I'm just trying to think. Well, you know, yes, sex
Someone's
scenes
gotta direct
definitely.
it.
It's a bit like, oh God, here we go.
Do you have any requests? Are you like, I'm literally like, turn off the lights and please don't look at me while I do
No,
this.
I just go into this, like my brain goes into this sort of white fog, and sheer panic takes over my whole being. So I can't really see anybody anyway because I go blind with terror.
Oh, wow.
And then I just do it. You hear in some film sets that they're like, okay, everybody get naked so the actors don't feel.
Yes, with the crew as well.
So I think when you record sex scenes in video games, everybody should offer their orgasm, their,
Voice.
you know, their
I'm gonna get
whatever they
demonetized
do,
after
and
this.
we can all hear it, and then it will levels the playing field.
Oh, wow. I would like to see it sometime.
I'm amazed they haven't put a camera in the room for some of this Tai
Like
Chi
bloopers, yeah.
Yeah.
orgasm
Amazing.
stuff.
Yeah.
So I think now, at least the last question from me, how does it feel to see so many people, and we're talking millions people playing Cyberpunk and seeing your characters?
Recently, it was like, what, 20 million that we...
Something like that.
Over 20 million people.
I mean, that feels wonderful. And also, I'm so glad I didn't know that when I was recording it.
Yeah.
Because actually, that's a lot. And I suppose in some ways it could build up the pressure of wanting to, you know, obviously do a good job. Of course, we want to do a good job anyway. But I think when you're conscious of, you know, the fact that there'll be so many people playing it, it can sort of ramp up the pressure that you might feel. So yes, I'm glad I didn't know that when I was recording it.
Too much pressure.
Yeah, exactly. And to know it now, it's just, what a gift. It's just so wonderful. It's really wonderful. And I'm very happy for the game, you know, too, that it's enjoying so much success because it deserves it.
Yeah, you definitely, as an actor, you become very invested in the project that you're in, right? So you want to do a really good job for the client always. You want to do a good job for the fans. You really want to see your clients succeed. You know, you want the game to be a success. We want you guys to go on and, you know,
It's great for
develop
CV.
more stuff and bring joy to the fans and have people say nice things and enjoy it. You know, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears goes into this. So, yeah.
Were there any tears on the set for you?
Was there any tears?
Was there what?
Because, you know, the game is very emotional
Tears.
many times.
I think.
There was a little moment, actually, and it made it into the game, because I've seen it. It made it into the game, but not as much as we recorded, which is when, it's a very specific moment where Alt's being kidnapped outside the club, Johnny gets beaten up, knocked to the floor. We recorded a lot more violence as they were kidnapping Alt and taking her away, and we recorded a lot more fear and a lot more tears. And I remember that was very emotional, like the genuine sort of threat to life and the fear. Yeah, they wanted it. They wanted it to be really harrowing, and I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, the baddies are not fucking about, basically." So they wanted it to be terrifying, and it was. So there were tears in that moment, yeah. But it was only an edited version that actually made it into the game, yeah.
How about you, Jane?
Not that I can recall. I mean, as I said, she definitely has her moments of vulnerability, but I don't I don't remember getting to that point where she was shedding an actual tear. But yeah, certainly it does happen, you know, in other games, in those moments. You go there, you know, if that's what the scene is about, or if that's sort of the byproduct of what's going on in the scene, then sure.
Okay. I'm really impressed by the range. You can go from crying, just talking, doing Tai Chi to like sex sounds. so that's amazing. So I think that for today that would be it. Thank you so much, Jane. Thank you so much, Alix, for joining us. Really cool insights into the job of a voice actress and to general talk about Cyberpunk. It was amazing. Do you maybe have some final closing words to our community that you would want to share?
I think it's just thank you. Just thank you so much for connecting, obviously for playing the game and for reaching out to everybody who's a part of this game. It's, you know, it's always received with so much gratitude. And as Alix said, it's very humbling. And it really does mean a lot to us. So thank you.
Yeah, I would echo that. A sort of a very big thank you to everyone who supports us and the projects we're in. And I think one of the things that I love about the gaming industry, which we sort of touched on but not quite, is the powers that be are very good at listening to the fans in the gaming world. And it's because there is a part 2 and a part 3 to the initial project. You know, there are sequels, there are trilogies. So if fans want to say something, or if fans want to see more of Alt in human form, you know, pre-becoming an AI being, say it. And I think that that's one of the incredible things about this community, is that gamers have to realize they have say, they have sway, and they have power.
Yes.
And that's fucking great.
It is. It's part of almost part of the collaborative process of a game.
Yeah, it is. It is part of the
exciting.
collaborative process. It's a great way of looking at it.
We do put changes into the game based on the feedback. So, of course, just, you know, make your voices heard.
You never know.
Yeah.
People should feel empowered.
Exactly.
And yeah, thank you for supporting us. And thank you for having us here, guys.
Yes,
This has
of
been
course.
wonderful.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So thank you. Thank you guys for watching. And me and Amelia will see you next time. So thank you so much. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Pretty cool. Now, I do want to say that the reason I don't speak over them is because it can get annoying for people who tuned in for the RedStreams, and if I'm speaking too much, it can get very annoying. So, pretty cool stuff. I mean, especially if you're going into voice acting and you're watching this and you're not picking up what they're saying, you should. Especially with the amount of like experience these two have on them. It was pretty cool stuff. When it comes to Alt, I know that they were speaking about seeing younger Alt, but I would love to see Alt, Blackwall Alt, because that means we're moving further into the story. If we go back to Alt before that, then it's Johnny Silverhand again, that sort of stuff. I mean, you can still get her, but you know, you still have to tie in Johnny. Hey. Those two girls from Cdpr doing an amazing job as community manager, by the way. Yeah. Alicia and Lalaya definitely do. Great people. There is also a podcast. They have a podcast. I mean, Red has a podcast you can check out as well. Pretty cool stuff that they talk about. Like, I don't react to it, obviously, because it's not live, and I mean, I can maybe watch it or summarize it, but definitely go and watch that podcast. It's pretty cool stuff. So what does everyone think about this one? Like, obviously, like, there's no new updates or anything, but that's as expected because these are behind the scenes stuff, you know, to kind of keep the game out there and to kind of just, you know, provide some stuff. Yeah, I mean, it depends. Like, you can do an alt story, definitely, you can, but you would still have to, like, you know, I mean, if we're going from Cyberpunk 2020, there's a lot of cool characters. Like, I want to see Morgan Blackhand. We didn't see him, maybe in the future, but, you know, it wouldn't be a surprise if maybe in the next Cyberpunk game we don't have Morgan Blackhand. Maybe we don't have anyone from, like, 2020. You know. I mean, Time of the Red is also interesting to maybe do sometimes. I mean, they probably want to keep moving forward, but Time of the Red was pretty cool. The amount of stories and stuff you can do in it, because Time of the Red is more of that Mad Maxian, has a more vibe to it, you know, with Night City, you know, suffering a nuclear bomb and everything. But yeah, Morgan Blackhand and Raish Bart most definitely. I mean, I would be surprised if Raish didn't survive in some form in the net. Yes, you have the body, you have everything in the fridge, fine. I have my gripes around how he looks though in the game, in the fridge, that when you find him, or is that Rage? But I don't know, having a Netrunner like that would be kind of cool to like, you know, have in the game, definitely. It's always good to, yeah, creatives behind the characters, definitely. I do wonder who they're gonna do next, because I'm pretty sure. And also, like, it was kind of cool that Cyberpunk official channel or Cdpr stepped over in the chat, because every time when I'm doing these sort of reactions, I'm like, should I be doing this? Am I breaking some sort of terms of usage here? But so far, They haven't been complaining, so I'm fine with it. But yeah, like obviously, like they did it one time on YouTube. I don't know why they're not doing it on YouTube again. Because they were doing one on Twitch and one on YouTube. I don't know why not restream. I don't know what to tell you, species. Hopefully she's alive. Yeah. Spider Murphy. Yeah, I mean, you have a bunch of characters which are amazing. You can go from like, if you go from like the Cyberpunk 2020 source books, and you go from like those different solos which were active back then, like just for character development and world development. I mean, you know, maybe in the next Cyberpunk game we go to Crystal Palace. Maybe that happens this time. I always said it, one of the things which I would like for the next Cyberpunk game, you know, besides being Night City, I would love more expanded Badlands. I want to do more stuff in the Badlands. I want to have more dynamics in the Badlands if they go with like the Nomad life path again, because it's interesting how they're gonna be going with life paths again and the character, you know. Not gonna lie, I do want to see Morgan. Some point is a favorite of mine. Yeah, I mean, Morgan is a pretty cool character. Like when you take his, you know, he is the solo, so just having a guy like that would be cool. I mean, imagine having a scene with Adam like in Cyberpunk 2077, and you're fighting him and he's about to attack you, and then Morgan comes along. It would be kind of cliche, I know, but you know, I do wonder, imagine if Smasher returns, because I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, you do end somewhat, but Smasher has survived a nuclear bomb. He has been blown up countless times. I mean, the first time the guy even got the suit was because he was blown up in the past, and then he survives a nuclear strike. Okay, if Adam survived the nuclear strike, what happened with Morgan? And at the end of the day, if Smasher survived the nuclear strike, did he survive V? I mean, we won't get Casino. Yeah, I doubt we're gonna be getting that. Maybe that's what I like about returning to Night City in the sequel, because you can expand on the city a lot more. You can make it like, I would still keep it as is when it comes to like some of the locations, obviously, because it leaves that familiarity in it. That's why Edge Runners was kind of cool, because Edge Runners was placed in the 2077, or well, Cdpr's version of Night City, and you recognize a lot of the streets, areas, you know, you have a feeling, okay, this is set in the same place as the story with V, the story with Johnny and everything else. So, you know, going back to Night City again, expanding upon it would be cool. And maybe going to Crystal Palace hopefully this time, because Crystal Palace story would be pretty cool, like pretty dope. Go City of Son. Yeah, I mean, you have you have the entire USA, you have the new USA, you have the Free States, you have Texas, Republic of Texas, which you can always explore through some areas, but it's not Night City. You also have to think about that, you know, about that corporate side, about Arasaka, about Militech. They should return to the past, explaining the data crash with all the characters. I mean, yeah, it will be cool. You know, like, it would be kind of nice if another corporate war happens in the future. You know, why not? Put Militech Arasaka against each other, you know? Again, why not? Why not? Because this time we've seen more of the Nusa story, then we saw more of that Night City Arasaka stuff. I mean, in general, Phantom Liberty is somewhat tied to Militech, somewhat, because, you know, it's nationalized. It's a nationalized company. But, again, it depends, like, how you want to approach it, how you want to approach the story. And, I mean, right now we can speculate all we want. It can be something completely different. We don't know. I think if they go, it should be just flashbacks. Yeah, maybe in some case. It would be cool to have a mission in another place like Deus Ex Human Revolution, but main game is still Night City. Yeah, doing a detour, a little one. Why not? Why? I mean, it's doable. A new corporate war would make sense because tensions are high and the world is unstable. Definitely that. If you take a look at from just the Phantom Liberty perspective, things were kinda, you know, in the background. They're cooking. They're definitely cooking, especially depending on what the major players are gonna be doing in the future. When it comes to New United States, because at the end of the day, like, New USA is relatively strong now, but they cannot risk an open war. Now, if you take a look into, okay, is Militech gonna attack Arasaka again? Is it going to be the other way around? Are they gonna be fighting because of some other corporations like it happened during the previous corporate war? Because Arasaka and Militech were hired by two different corporations. They were not at first directly in conflict with each other, but because they got hired by two different megacorps, you clash. But I mean, they didn't like each other anyway. Yeah, recently played the ending where you side with three... okay, spoilers. Yeah, but yeah. Oh yeah, true. Scenery is pretty great. Current game. Random anarchists blow up net in Europe. Unlock secret part of biochip. You get stuck in Johnny's past. You live backwards to search how to avoid the next corpo war. Oh my god. Yeah. So it's like Militech and Arasaka are having a cold war right now. I also remember a gig with Padre when he says something like it's only a matter of time before Militech and Arasaka clash again. Yeah, I mean, basically every single corporation right now is scheming, and I'm pretty sure you have some ripple effect from like the ending of like Cyberpunk 2077, what happened with Arasaka, and regardless of the ending, there is still ripple effects happening, and we'll see if that's and how that's gonna be incorporated into the lore. I'm also very interested to see like what Mike is gonna be doing with the story in the future. Like, Red is expanding a lot, especially with some of the stuff you can buy for it right now, but I really wonder what Mike has cooking next for Cyberpunk. Honestly, how vast the lore is for Cyberpunk, anything they do will be really interesting to see how Cyberpunk world changes. Yeah. How about the corporation? Cyberpunk was between Sony PlayStation and Microsoft Xbox. Oh my god. Would Arasaka back Sony and Militech back Microsoft? Yeah, technically they would. If we were living in some alternate Cyberpunk universe and you had Sony and Microsoft going off on each other like through Megacorp, as a Megacorp, yeah, I mean, you know, Arasaka would support a company from Japan, Militech would support a company from US, because ultimately that's who they kinda represent. But yeah. So Cyberpunk is turning into a futuristic GTA? Nah, I mean, I go into GTA and Cyberpunk for two different reasons when I want to play. Like, I don't go into Cyberpunk expecting GTA, I don't go into GTA expecting Cyberpunk, you know. They have their own unique stuff, and of course, like Rockstar is Rockstar, they pretty much designed a lot of elements of the open world which are used today, and you cannot escape some of those things when you have open world, it's impossible. But I don't know. We'll see next year. We'll see next year what's happening with GTA 6. I cannot wait for that. We better get the fly car. Hello, have you seen the new mod with grenade launcher? I'll check it out. I don't know. I haven't seen the one. I'm sure there has been some new other like weapon mods. Yeah. So, don't forget Stadia. Man, I legit forgot about Stadia. Like, I forgot that even existed. Oh my god. Oh my god. But, you know, I think tech, because everyone I talked to when it came to Stadia, they said tech was great. Like, tech behind it was great, but the monetization behind Stadia was awful. It was too expensive. I mean, I like what, for example, I'm not sponsored or anything, just don't think that. I like what GeForce Now has been doing, because technically you rent a PC on a cloud rather than buying a game and that ecosystem and then have this happening, because people don't trust you if you're a new launcher, a platform. Like, okay, so you expect me to spend average of $200, even more with subscription, a year on games and other stuff for it to maybe disappear? Like, it's always a risk. So I think Stadia wise, I think in general, when it comes to like streaming tech wise, was good, but too bad like that tech is gonna be repurposed for something else now. Like, that's just how it is. They're gonna be taking that streaming tech and the cloud tech and they're gonna be putting it, you know, somewhere else. We'll see what's gonna be happening with Xbox. I mean, to be honest, it's interesting to see like what these things are with like Xbox games coming to PlayStation allegedly. I don't know. We'll see what Phil has to say. I'm very interested in that. Like, you know, it would be kind of funny if they did it, especially because, I mean, in the perfect world, you would have every single game on every single console. But let's face it, games sell consoles. You can have the best console in the world, but games are going to ultimately sell it. So hopefully, like, Xbox takes all of these studios and does something nice with them. It's also good that there is competition between Sony and Microsoft, because for the end user, ultimately, that's better for you if you have competition. If Xbox or Sony has some sort of a monopoly, it's never good, regardless of who it is. Because you don't want those companies to basically like have their own like market majority and just do whatever they want, because that's when they get comfortable. No, you want them on the edge to make good games. Xbox even isn't leaving the console market. Of course they're not leaving, but when I look at Xbox, it's like you're looking at Microsoft. Like, it depends how they want to run their business. If their business is maximizing profit, then, you know, they might do stuff like, you know, release it on another platform, who knows. The thing with Game Pass, for example, I heard it's like doing well, like Game Pass and stuff is doing well, but with Game Pass, as long as any subscription service, you have to feed the beast constantly with new games. You have to pump stuff into it, because you want to keep as many people as possible on that platform or a subscription service for as long as you can. It's just business, you know. But it's never easy to do that. But if any any corporation can do it with the amount of people they have, it's Microsoft. I mean, but it depends. You know, it's like whenever people say like, regardless of who you are, like, I don't go into that whole console war bullshit, because it doesn't matter for me. Like, the thing is, Sony was always more prevalent where I am, just because my first proper console which I got as a kid, like before that it was NES, which my friend had, and then it was PlayStation 1. Xbox just started now getting more market share in like the Balkan region in general, or in Europe in general, because they were always more American centric company, and Xbox wasn't, like, always, at least where I live, easy to get. And finally, like, I remember Xbox One was more expensive than PlayStation 4 here, or something like that. And I know in the States it was like the opposite or something like, I don't remember, but yeah. Sega is well past releasing consoles. I mean, I like Nintendo. Nintendo is doing fine. Like, they're just, you know, Nintendo is like, yeah, whatever. We have our Switch. We have our IPs. We don't care. Nintendo is in such a relaxing position. I mean, think about it. Every single time you have Xbox, Sony fighting, whatever, you know, and then Nintendo like this, just like that. It's funny. I'm glad handheld is coming back a little bit. I mean, with Steam Deck, you know, more competition. Sony was pretty stupid to discount, like, going into handheld. Like Vita and PSP, great days. I remember the days of PSP, dude. It was awesome. too bad. Like, it was, I think, ahead of its time. They had some great ideas, but you know, a lot of time it was like phones are gonna be our next, you know, handhelds, and it's not. Like, I don't want my phone to be handheld console. I don't like playing games on my phone. I don't. But having a handheld console, in a sense, is always cool. We could meet Smashers Engram. There are so many directions CDPR can go with Orion. Yeah, we'll see. It's crazy how far games have came with this smartphone. I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, graphically, like, if you look at the new iPhone and you look at like the graphics of Resident Evil on that, it's insane. I mean, it's cool, but it's just how it is. Like, it's as you're moving into the future, the smaller the phone, it won't matter because the tech is gonna be faster inside it and better. The hardware is gonna be better, so you're gonna be able to run better software. Why CDPR choosing UE5? I mean, UE5 has a lot of good features, but I mean, specific reasons, I mean, you probably have to ask someone more technical about it, because it depends. Like, you know, some people like in-house engines, some people don't like in-house engines. Then you also have to take into account that maintaining an engine, especially if it's your in-house engine, is expensive. It's not cheap, you know, and maybe you get more control over it in some cases, but it depends. Like, I do like Red Engine. It's pretty cool. Like, when you look at Cyberpunk with path tracing and everything, like full-on ray tracing, psycho mode, because I was just talking to Southern about that, and we were playing through it, and, you know, turning on different settings. It's insane. It's actually insane how it looks. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see when the next game comes out, you know. But I'm pretty sure there's a lot of technicalities which go into that from the development side and business side, you know. Olivio, what's up? But really, to come to MK6 is worth to get, absolutely. The engine did wonders for the Witcher series, yeah. I mean, they've been always doing that. And the thing is, a lot of the features from Red Engine, which they used, are gonna be, well, not a lot, but some of the, I guess, solutions that Red Engine uses are going to be implemented into Unreal Engine 5. So there is probably a lot of like business intricacies there, which go like how much money, which sort of tech are we getting. I like that CDPR also has Epic engineers on standby. So I mean, whenever you have a problem with the engine, I mean, you can ask people who work on it. So it's a big plus. When will the RedStream start? You missed it. It was already live. You can watch it on Twitch or here, which because I'm ending very soon the actual live stream. So there really will never be another Red Engine, man. Will be sad not seeing it used anymore. Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of history with Red Engine, definitely. Going from like to the Witcher 2 and then Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk. Great stuff. All right, so thank you very much for stopping by. Again, huge thanks for CDPR for stopping by this stream anyway. Hopefully all of you have an amazing day, night, morning, wherever you are watching and listening from, and I will be going live also soon, but I'm still deciding if I'm gonna be going on YouTube or Twitch, because I've been working a lot on these videos. I want to get more videos out. From your perspective, when will Orion release? Who knows, maybe in the next 5-6 years, if we're lucky. All right, thank you everyone for stopping by. Thank you for likes, comments, you know, views. Thank you for watching, and hopefully everyone had a great time. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Stay classy, chooms, and bye bye.